Hi, good evening, everyone. So today we are going to go ahead and do an important proof from the point of view of exam. And that is going to be that two indifference curves cannot intersect. The aim of this lecture is to prove that two ICs cannot intersect, right? Let us try to go ahead and let us try to prove this thing. How can we go ahead and how can we prove this? I'm going to go ahead and I am going to start by assuming that suppose two indifference curve intersect. ऐसा एक situation ले लेते हैं और बोलते हैं कि suppose the two indifference curves intersect. So what will happen? Indifference curve 1, indifference curve 2. Good X, good Y. Okay. So what am I saying? I am saying suppose two indifference curve intersect. Right? Then what will happen, beta? If I take 3 points, point A, point B, and point C, right? Consider indifference curve 1. IC1 को consider करो. Consider indifference curve 1. What has happened? Point A and C are on IC1. दोनों same indifference curve पे हैं. We know that when two ICs, they are on the same indifference curve, they should give the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. अगर दो पॉइंट्स एक ही इंडिफरेंस कर्व पर होते हैं तो वो कंज्यूमर को सेम लेवल ऑफ सैटिस्फैक्शन देते हैं. सो दिस मीन्स दैट यूटिलिटी फ्रॉम ए एंड यूटिलिटी फ्रॉम सी शुड बी द सेम, है ना? और I can say that consumer should be indifferent between A and C. A और C के बीच में consumer indifferent होगा. Consumer will get same level of satisfaction from A and C. Is this clear? Now what we can go ahead and we can do is we can consider another indifference curve. So now I will go ahead and I will consider indifference curve 2. So consider indifference curve 2. IC2 को हम consider कर रहे हैं. Now what happens with IC2 beta? Note that point A and B, they are on indifference curve 2. So we can say that A and B are on IC2. फिर से हम same property use करेंगे. What property we will use? 2 points which are on the same indifference curve should provide the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. So this tells me that utility from point A will be equal to utility from point B. Or I can say that consumer will be indifferent between A and B. कंज्यूमर ए और बी के बीच में इंडिफरेंट होगा. कंज्यूमर विल बी इंडिफरेंट बिटवीन ए एंड बी बिकॉज पॉइंट ए एंड बी आर ऑन द सेम इंडिफरेंस कर्व. वो एक ही आईसी पर आ रहे हैं. क्लियर? नाउ बेटा लेट्स यूज ट्रांजिटिविटी. फ्रॉम ट्रांजिटिविटी क्या बोलेगा ट्रांजिटिविटी? That consumer is indifferent between A and B and consumer is indifferent between A and C. So what does this tell me beta? A और B का utility same है. A and C का utility भी same है. So this tells me that utility of B and C should also be the same. That means it tells me that consumer should be indifferent between B and C. Consumer point B and point C के बीच में indifferent होगा. Consumer will be indifferent between point B and C. Is this clear? But अब ये देखो कि पॉइंट बी एंड सी हैव सेम अमाउंट ऑफ गुड एक्स. दोनों में एक्स तो सेम ही है, एक्स नॉट. बट पॉइंट बी हैज वाई नॉट अमाउंट ऑफ गुड वाई एंड पॉइंट सी हैज y1 amount of good y. So when I compare point C with B, अगर मैं C को B से कंपेयर करूं, comparing point C with B, C has same amount of good x. उसमें good x तो B जितना ही है, but more good y as compared to B. B के कंपैरिजन में as compared to B, C has more of good y. So in the last class, we had studied about monotonicity. So using monotonicity, which says more is preferred. जितना ज्यादा होगा उसको ज्यादा preference मिलेगा. Utility from C should be more than utility from B. So transitivity tells us that B and C should give same utility. Transitivity बोल रहा है कि B और C से same utility आना चाहिए. But monotonicity is telling me that C should give me more utility than B. Isn't it? So therefore, we have reached contradiction. Right? One is telling me that utility of C is more than utility of B. Other is telling me utility from C should be equal to utility from B. Both are not possible simultaneously. I cannot satisfy both. Either it will be more or it will be equal. How can it will be more also and equal also? So we have reached a contradiction. So therefore, we cannot have two ICs intersecting each other. Right? Therefore, two indifference curves, they cannot intersect each other. Am I clear with this? Okay, beta. So this is the only topic I wanted to discuss for today, that two indifference curves cannot intersect each other. In the next class, I will go ahead and I will start talking about the different examples of indifference curve. अगली क्लास में हम ये पढ़ेंगे कि what are perfect substitutes, what are complements. So we will talk about different kind of indifference curves. Okay, beta. Thank you.